around the NBA news, but there hasn't been anything since the Bickerstaff hiring, since signing Tobias Harris. There's been no other Pistons move, right? I'm not missing anything?
No.
Okay. There was an almost move that happened. Buddy Hield, though.
Oh, man.
He ended up in Golden State.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield, he was deciding between, or was it a trade?
It was a signing trade. Yeah.
It was a signing trade. So he ended up choosing, and this was reported by Shams, and I think James Edward III.
Yep.
Maybe started with
of
Shams.
The Athletic.
Yes, that. Buddy Hield chose the Warriors over the Lakers and the Pistons.
Yes.
I'm just going to tee that up. It didn't work out. I wanted Buddy Hield here. I like that the Pistons were involved. I know he's in Golden State now. They got a chance to remake the Splash Brothers. Yep. But what are your thoughts on missing out on him? Are you as excited as I am that the Pistons were at least involved?
I mean, yeah, that was my initial reaction as soon as I think we all saw the news. It was, you know what, good on Trajan Langdon for kind of being a part of trying to get this player to come to Detroit. I liked it. Wish obviously we would have been able to land it, but it just kind of shows you the condition of the actual organization. I'm hoping that by at least next offseason, this team underneath Trajan Langdon's leadership is showing free agents, showing prospects, showing other front office personnel, showing other just coaching personnel that this is a team that you want to be able to get on right now at the ground level as we're heading up. Because right now we got all of these different reports of people from the prospects and free agents, their agents telling them, avoid that squad because they're not really about winning. So I'm hoping that by next year or within a couple years, this is something that Trajan Langdon is able to turn around where teams look at the Detroit Pistons with a lot better eye than they currently are.
Yeah, this was the move he wanted to go play for a winner, right?
Yeah.
Or a team with a better chance of going deeper in the play, making the playoffs.
Yeah.
A little closer to the championship. He wants to play with Steph Curry. That's a pretty impressive three-point shooting twosome. I know it's not Klay Thompson, but Buddy Hield might have a little bit more left in the tank.
Hey, listen, man, over the last few years or so, there's no one that's made more threes than Steph Curry and Buddy Hield. So you putting those two players together, it's going to be something special.
Yeah.
If they continue with the same type of efficiency and pace in which they're making their threes, it's going to be something special. I don't know how you necessarily employ defenses that keep both of those guys from going off in the game. So I like it, man. But with the Detroit Pistons, we talked about a guy like Gary Trent Jr. who's out there. The Pistons are still being rumored as being someone kicking the tires on a Gary Trent Jr.
Cool with that.
So it's like it's showing that Trajan Langdon is prioritizing floor spacing for the Detroit Pistons. It's not just about going out there and bringing in a bad contract for a draft pick, but a player who might not play. This is about also making sure that these young players can have the proper support that they need from veterans who can come out here and have some type of effect on the court, in the weight room, in the locker room, and sometimes it goes a little bit further when those vets speak, when you see them out there hooping as well. Tim Hardaway Jr. is not a bashful guy, and that's why I kind of like this signing on the team as well. I'm just hoping that the Pistons can bring in one or two more shooters if they're not going to be able to go and bring in somebody in the paint that can affect things as well, which I don't see that option out there unless they just going to take the flyer on JaVale McGee.
JaVale McGee, baby.
JaVale
McGee. I thought that the trade situation, the possibility of getting Brandon Ingram was dead. And then they went and traded for DeJounte Murray with the Hawks.
Yeah.
And then I see this video. Kate Cunningham and Brandon Ingram, are they training together right now?
Stop it.
Are they training in the same gym?
Don't tease me like that, bro.
And no, he's not teasing.
I think I see Kate right here and now shooting. We got Brandon Ingram over here also shooting. Getting some Kevin Durant style free throws in. That's a great,
then we got Jordan
drill, by the way.
Isn't that foreshadowing?
Hey, well, you know what?
What are the possibilities of this? Does this mean anything, or are they just training with J-Law B-Ball because he's a good trainer?
There's a couple different things here to note. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Obviously, these guys are going to be talking, and if I'm Kay Cunningham and I just signed this big contract extension here in Detroit, why wouldn't I talk to Brandon Ingram? But they are represented by the same agent, and sometimes these agencies are able to put together training camps and things of that nature to be able to help their clients during the offseason be able to work out with some of the best trainers in the world. I'll be able to go to different specialists that can help them with different parts and aspects of their game. So that could be the most likely outcome of what you saw there. But I would not be surprised if Cade Cunningham is talking to Brandon Ingram, who the Pelicans have already stated we're going to trade him. That report came out. I saw Evan Siddery also put that out there as well, that he's going to be traded. So if I'm Cade, why not?
Yeah.
Why not, man? So it was cool to be able to see that happening. Obviously, we got social media ablaze, but it's going to be interesting to see what Trajan Langdon does from this point.
It does. It did. That video was courtesy of Ingram Alerts via 30 Ravina on Twitter. THIRRDYRAVENAAA. Like China in the chat.
Hell of a
I
name.
see you. No, it's always cool seeing those videos. And good players tend to train. You find a good trainer out there, they probably have another good player they're training also. So could mean something, could be nothing. And I'm still open to the idea.
I'm very open to the idea, and I'm hoping. Hey, listen, gonna be done at Summer League. Like we already told you guys, I'm gonna be there for 2 of the games.
Awesome.
The Monday and the Tuesday game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try and definitely V-mix in, but one of the cool things is, we get to be able to talk to different people on the ground level. So I'm hoping to talk to some different trainers and such. Hoping to get some content with Ron Holland. I already have some stuff set up to be able to get more intel for you all on Ron Holland. That is Detroit's #1 draft pick.
Love that.
This year at number 5. So I'm looking forward to Summer League. That's where I'm hoping to be able to go in there. If things haven't kind of consummated completely for the Detroit Pistons, to see if there's anything else that's on their radar for this year or for the season to come.
Ooh, consummate that relationship.
Hey,
Let me ask you real quick, and I forgot, this might be common knowledge. Brandon Ingram has 1 year left on his contract. Is he looking for a contract extension wherever he lands, or is he willing to play this year out?
He wants the contract extension wherever he lands, but, it's not on him. If the Pelicans get a good enough deal, then that team gets the ability to say, you know what? Let's just let them play it out. Let's see if we can convince him that this is the place that he wants to be. We're now the team that gets to offer him the most amount of money. So that's the Brandon Indian. Shout out to Pete.
It's the morning, okay? I'm doing some things over here.
I apologize on this show. You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
We
bro.
don't give a.
Hey, look, we let Pete cook.
Verbally assaulted here.
Let Pete cook.
Let him cook, man.
Hey, that's how we roll.
Do you see? He just got triggered.
PTSD.
You don't have to worry with us.
Oh, good. Thank
We are
God.
perfect.
Oh, so I can take my clothes off. Okay, good. No.
Oh, wow.
Oh, whoa.
Slow your roll.
We are the morning show. It's not streamed on Fox 2.
Freaky Broder and Freaky B. Oh, my God. Freaky ass boys, man. Y'all my guys, though. Y'all my guys.
Oh, man.
Bring Juan Soto home. Sorry?
Yep.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Hey, no, look with
chance
the
in hell,
Detroit
but
Pistons,
please.
it's this weird thing because the most exciting part of the season is always going to be kind of the draft and what they do in free agency. And right now, you're kind of on this kind of blip where people are like, well, did they do enough? And that was what we were talking about. If Trajan Langdon wants to be able to come in here and be able to establish his own foundation, were fans going to be okay with the pace that was going to take?
Yeah.
Because right now, a lot of people say it's not enough, whereas in reality, this is a better team today than it was last year.
Yes.
By far. And they still have the finances to be able to go and add to that. But really, with what they've already added, if this was last year, we would be saying, you know what, if our young guys take that necessary step forward, we got a pretty decent team that can potentially make the play-in.
Yeah.
That's what the conversation will be. So this does fall back on, if Trajan Langdon is giving these young guys another year to prove themselves, this really falls on them to take that step forward. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
We see a lot of other young teams, Orlando Magic especially being one of those kind of key teams that you zero in on.
Yeah.
They were rebuilding at the same time as the Pistons. And who's leading the charge? They're young players. You don't got questions about them.
Yeah.
Are there improvements you want to see Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero make? Sure. But who is questioning their ability to lead that Orlando Magic team? Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. So it's like, I want to see our guys. You need more than just a Cade Cunningham to step into that next rarefied air. You need just one of those young guys. You got Asar, Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, Marcus Sasser, Ron Holland. You got a good batch of talent to be able to, have this thing happen, but you need at least one of those guys to take the next step forward. If you're getting that from a Jalen Duren or an Ivy or both of those guys, this is going to be a much better team next year than we thought, and it gives you a little bit more clarity on what they need to do moving forward.
I know on paper, it seemed like they have a lot of ill-fitting parts, but it's not like they're devoid of talent on this team. Like, I don't think the team is as bad as their record was last year. Now, I know that's easy to say, 14 wins, it looks bad, but I do think this team is better than what they were last year. So we just got to see. It's just all up on them. Like you said, it's up to them to prove it.
Yeah, John, the Doc Macaroon in the chat says,
Shout out to the Doc.
Shout out to the
Shout
Doc.
out,
I think
Doc.
the wise thing with Pistons is to have no expectations. I don't see playing team. I don't have a problem with people having no expectations.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. They got to earn that.
Yeah, I think I don't mind if you have no expectations. Although I do think there should just be the baseline expectation that you're better than last year.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how many wins that is, but you can't be as horrendous as a 14 and whatever 82 minus 14 is.
Not to put it as an expectation, but I do feel like they need to be 10 wins better at least.
10 wins?
10 wins.
And you know what?
That shouldn't be that hard.
But
Exactly. That's what we asking for.
1/4 of the games.
24 wins, yeah.
Yep.
Or 1/3.
And you know what? And everybody's right. Everybody's right. The Pistons right now haven't earned the expectations from us where we can say, you know what? Yeah, they're the talent they've had, it's going to pan out. We've seen them kind of do these types of things, and we've seen it fall flat on their faces. So I definitely get it when you got someone like a Doc who's covered sports here for a long time say, you know what? You guys are going to have to show me. And that's where I'm at right now as well, as it relates to being able to kind of go move by move and looking at assessing Trajan Langdon right now. It's like, okay, I like the things that he's doing.
Hell yeah.
I like the moves that he's being rumored to be involved in. I like the fact that he said, you know what? Regardless of what Kool-Aid thinks about Zach LaVine, I don't think the Zach LaVine situation is good enough for this organization. This organization was going down that train. We know that. It was reported the Pistons were the only ones at the trade deadline last year who had interest in that was going to resume in the offseason if Troy Weaver was here. Right now, I like the outlook of what he's doing for this team, and he's not mortgaging the future to do that. If you can get the right types of vets in here to kind of settle things, and that's like to Doc's point, it's to be seen.
Yeah.
But I at least like what they're doing. And I like the fact that they have, as advertised, are saying, one voice in the front office.
Yes, and that voice is transparent with us. It's transparent with the fan base. I hate that it's come to this, what he said in this statement, but I love that he shared this statement with us.
Yep.
He said agents don't want their players coming to Detroit. That sucks.
Yeah.
Straight
but
up
I'm
honest.
so glad he
Rock
said
bottom.
that. Like, hey, this is where I stand right now. I'm Trajan Langdon, PBO. We are at the bottom of the barrel right now.
Yeah.
But we're going to turn things around. They don't
Big
want their
facts.
players to come. I get it. So we're going to have to take on bad contracts. That's going to be my strategy from the start. I think he's done a really great job of doing that, plus getting some talent. Like, I thought it was going to be a shit show for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that.
Right.
Tobias Harris, not my favorite move in the world, but
He's a good
I like
player.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I think it propels us a little bit forward a little bit sooner than expected. Not that he's going to take the Pistons over the top, but he's going to get them back or get them to a winning type culture. He's going to help Cade take another step. I don't know if it's his biggest step, but he's going to help him move forward. Jaden Ivey, Asir Thompson, there's so much they can learn from him. Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yep.
We got to sign Fontecchio. We got to get that guy locked up.
Absolutely.
But I like what they're doing. You said this team is better than they were last year.
Yeah.
We didn't have to give up Ivy or Duran or Stu or Sasser.
We didn't.
Yeah.
This was, well, that's the thing, too. We were talking about how do you press the acceleration button. There's only two ways. Either these young players take the step forward, or either you utilize them in a trade to be able to bring more players in here that you think can get to that perch, to that mantle. So it's like, instead they chose to say, you know what? Let's see what these young players have, but let's try and bring in the vets that we think can not just help them on a nightly basis in the lineups they play, but you're talking about depth. We're talking about depth right now. Think about this. If Isaiah Stewart is coming off of the bench, you do have a mid-30s, 36, 37% three-point shooting big coming off your bench to play the backup five, where I actually think Stu plays his best ball. I don't think that Stu plays his best ball as a backup four. He plays his best when he can just absolutely wreak havoc on a defensive end in the paint and kind of be a good help side defender, kind of look and make sure that on the weak, if he's a weak side defender, that the guards that are driving strong, he can get over and try and rim protect.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You got now a pairing of potentially Tobias Harris and Jalen Duran in that front court. You got potentially a pairing of, Simone Fontecchio, Cade Cunningham. Some people are saying it might be Tim Hardaway Jr. Who knows who's starting?
Yeah.
But that's a lot more shooting around Cade Cunningham. That's going to be a lot more shooting now coming off of your bench as well. If you got guys like an Isaiah Stewart moving to the bench now too. So I like the moves.
They just need a rim
We
protecting
got to see
big.
it though.
We need a rim protecting big.
They do.
Like that, Jalen Duren isn't there yet. I hope he still is. I don't want to give up on him yet, but they need a rim protecting big.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, you can't give up on Jalen Duren yet. And to the people who say, well, would you trade him for something? I don't think trading Duren or Ivy is giving up on them. I think that's just saying accelerate this rebuild right now for players who are doing
they need assets
where we want them to go right now, and you get some assets in return. But I love Duren. You're talking about a double-double machine, a guy who's one of the youngest in the NBA when he entered the league. And he has a lot more room to grow here. It's just about, do you have the right development around him? I liked what was going on when Dwayne Casey was in the front office for these young guys. I mean, was a coach for the young guys' development for that year. After that, they just kind of looked a little rudderless. If Trajan Langdon, Fred Vinson, J.B. Bickerstaff and Jared Jack and some of the people who's still here, Dwayne Casey who's still in the organization, can help these young guys from a place of development. That's where I believe this season is going to see his biggest improvement or jump coming from those young guys.
Yes.